I really don't understand why Kevin Feige ever speaks. Every time this guy talks, he's either lying or saying something stupid, and this is an example of him saying something stupid. Kevin Feige apparently was afraid that the casting for the Fantastic Four movie was too white. So then they got Pedro Pascal, which begs the question, is Pedro Pascal a diversity hire? Or did they realistically hire this guy because he perfectly embodies the role of Reed Richards? And I read this online, I don't know how true it is though, but the delays with the Fantastic Four are mostly because they can't find someone that will stay as Reed Richards. A lot of the people they're bringing in, I heard Matt Smith was considered, he dropped out of it. Jake Gyllenhaal, for some ridiculous reason, was apparently in the running for it, but he dropped out of it. A couple of other names got floated around as unconfirmed if they're true or not, though. And they're dropping out because the movie is centered around Sue Storm and not the four members as a group. What a shock, everyone. Disney trying to do a female lead, and it's not working again as usual. They will never learn. And I really wish Kevin Feige would just honestly just shut the fuck up. All this stuff about Captain Marvel, I saw him on the, I think it was the red carpet for the Marvels. And he started off by talking about how everyone loves Captain Marvel and she's such a fan favorite. Kevin, no one gives a shit about Captain Marvel. No one cares about her. You're the only one that's wearing her hat. You're the only one wearing panties that say further, higher, faster, whatever her bullshit lines are or something like that. And no one's going to watch the Fantastic Four movie if it's about Sue Storm. No one cares about that. And I think that's a big problem right there, though. Whenever the term female-led comes up, when any kind of publication is talking about that, I think most of us are just turned off by it at this point. It's not because we don't like women characters. Women characters have been in movies and shows forever, and video games forever. It's just when you have to say female-led, it has that stigma of it, is that she's not just a character, she's a female, which means that she is stuck in a patriarchal society and has to rise above and work harder than everyone else in the industry, blah, 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 blah. No one gives a shit. Okay, Disney's a dying, sinking ship at this point. I don't know what's worse. If you had to look at all the Disney properties right now and tell me what the absolute worst one is right now between like Marvel and Star Wars and just their regular Disney movies in general, I can't tell you which one is doing worse right now. They're all doing bad. And that is such a weird statement to make because they have so many different things they could do. They have so many different properties. And they're all failing right now. Their live action movies, Haunted Mansion, absolute flop. Their animated movies, Strange World, absolutely flopped. Star Wars, oh, their shows are bad. Oh man, I think to their credit though, they don't make enough Star Wars movies. I forgot what the last Star Wars movie was. Was it, I guess, the Rise of Skywalker? That was the last one. But man, their shows are bad. Their shows are hideous. They keep canceling movies. I know Kevin Feige apparently had a Star Wars movie coming out. That got axed. I saw Taka Waititi, whatever the fuck his name is, that absolute Hollywood hack. He was saying that his Star Wars movie is going to piss people off. He said the same thing with Thor, I'm pretty sure. He's going to piss off the fans. And you know what, Kevin? I'm sorry, you know what, Takiti? You made a shit movie. Love and Thunder was horrible from start to finish. So that's the future of Marvel right now. You have Kevin Feige just driving this car with no tires and no brakes, no oil, no gas, and anything like that, and it's essentially on fire. And he's just telling you, everyone, yeah, don't worry, yeah, Captain Marvel, fan favorite, future of our company, and stuff like that. No. And Waikiki making Star Wars movies that he knows people are gonna hate. I mean, it's a dumpster fire, but I feel like I've strayed away from the original point. Fantastic Four movie, let's talk about that. Oh, it's gonna suck. Oh, that's absolutely gonna suck. And you know what? They actually I think they did a fantastic job with Pedro Pascal. They absolutely found the perfect guy for him to play Reed Richards, because Pedro's that guy that would happily just let someone else push him out of his own franchise. Just like The Mandalorian with Bo-Katan, whatever the fuck her name is, he was more than happy to let Katie Sackhoff take the lead of that show. Okay, for a number of reasons. First of all, it's an absolute dying show. No one cares about The Mandalorian. It was lightning in a bottle for the first season because it was something that the Star Wars fans desperately wanted, and now no one cares. They wrote their show into the ground. They have no idea what they're going on with it. They have no direction or anything like that. So yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why he's perfectly fine with Katie Sackhoff, Bo-Katan taking over the entire franchise, because Pete probably wants out of that, and more importantly, he wants to look like the White Knight. Is he even white? What is he? Spanish? I don't even care. They got the most they got the whitest looking Spanish guy to play Reed Richards, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we're afraid it's too white of a thing." So we got essentially the whitest guy we can find that maybe he's Spanish. I have no idea. What a disaster that whole franchise, my god. Just imagine, like, this thing about that for a few years ago. We had Endgame, and someone messaged me on Facebook. They said, imagine if they would have stopped it after Endgame. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? They should have. They haven't done anything. I think they probably lost more money than they made with their movies and shows. I don't see how they possibly making a profit right now. I'm making a long video later on, though, about Star Wars. Apparently, it's the 10th anniversary of Disney buying the rights to LucasArts and all that stuff, though. I think it was they bought it for like $4 billion. They have not made that money back. With all their movies and shows and failed hotels and all their straight to Disney Plus specials that aren't going to earn them a single dime. Oof, that's bad. That'd be an interesting video. What's doing the worst with Disney right now? Their live action makes, their animated studios, Star Wars, or Marvel right now. I'm gonna put up a poll later on. We'll discuss this later on. Though. But to bring this around, full circle, Pedro Pascal, Fantastic Four, it's dead in the water. Isn't that weird though? I could understand like the Marvels or something like that, something that people that no one cares about, that absolutely flopping. I think this is gonna be the biggest test of Disney right now, and Marvel in general though. Of did you lose the fans? Because everyone that's a comic book fan, well, everyone was a Marvel fan, back in the day. We all loved the Fantastic Four. Those two movies that came out, the original and then Rise of the Silver Surfer. Disney would be begging to get a movie as good as those these days. And those movies, they were fun and silly. They weren't, Schindler's List or anything like that, though. But they were fun, entertaining movies, a lot of replay value, did not shove messages down my throat or do any ridiculous politics or anything like that. It was just a pair of great movies, great likable cast, and you know what? They ain't gonna recapture that anytime soon. Honestly, if they would have had John Krasinski and Emily Blunt playing the roles of Reed and Sue, that would have been a huge step in the right direction. Because everyone loves those two. And you know what? If you wanted to, dare I say, if you wanted to go with Sue Storm being the lead, and you had Emily Blunt doing it, I don't think I'd hate it. I would not hate it at all. You know why? Because Emily Blunt is a no-nonsense actor. She doesn't care about any of this woke politics at all. She goes out there, puts on the best possible performance she possibly could. She was great in A Quiet Place. She was great in Edge of Tomorrow. She was great in the Adjustment Bureau. That's an old one, too. She's great in everything. So if you wanted to go in that direction, why wouldn't you grab Emily Blunt and John Krasinski for it, though? Husband and wife, everyone loves them. But instead you got Pedro Pascal. I don't think this man has been relevant for a while. I think he's been riding one role in Game of Thrones for a couple of episodes and The Mandalorian Season 1, and that is going to be the rest of this man's career. He's going to get casted solely based on these things. And you know what? I don't think he's that great. I don't think he can really embody the role of Reed Richards. He does not have the look. I would have gone with Matt Smith. I think Matt Smith was a fantastic casting for it, though. The Jake Gyllenhaal one automatically would tell me that this is going to be a multiverse movie, but having Pedro as him, I don't know what's going to happen with this. I don't know where it's leading, but I think this is the biggest test Marvel's going to have to face right now, because if the Fantastic Four movie comes out, one of the biggest Marvel properties of all time, and it flops, that is huge. Because Doctor Strange made money. Multiverse of Madness, I'm pretty sure, could be wrong, pretty sure that made money. Thor Love and Thunder, I'm pretty sure that made money. But both of those movies were awful. And people went to go see them because we love those two characters and we love those two actors. But if the Fantastic Four fails, At this point of Marvel and Disney, at their lowest point, they cannot recover from this at all. I think this would be the absolute death blow. And I know we've said this for a good number of years, saying that Marvel's dead. I think if the Fantastic Four movie flops, that's the end of it. That's the end of Kevin Feige. That's the end of everyone that's in charge with Marvel. There's no hope going on for it. So what do you guys think about this? Do you like the Pedro Pascal casting? Do you think the Marvel's going to flop? And if you think it's going to be great, please let me know. I'm very curious to hear from you.